So welcome to our fourth Nepos Lightning Talk. This time it's Giuseppe, our UI and UX designer, who will give us a talk about design values, and we will learn more. And now, happy to listen to you. Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, hello. I am Giuseppe from Nepos, and I'm responsible for the product design at Nepos. And I want today talk with you about how the right values can boost your creativity and why storytelling saves your life. Sounds a bit dramatic, but yeah, we will see. So, and I will talk about this topic on my work for the Immergut festival from 2012 to 2017. And for sure, it's not only my work, and we were always a team of three. One guy has left the team. This is Dennis, this guy on the right side. And then Brian Storm joined us. Dennis is an art director. Marco Lehmbeck was or is a member of the Immergut Festival organization, and he is a copywriter, a dedicated copywriter. And Brian Storm is also an art director and illustrator, and me myself also as art director. Yeah. So some facts about the Immergut Festival for the people who doesn't know about this festival. Immergut Festival is somehow an indie rock festival based in Germany, some 120 kilometers from Berlin. It's established since the year 2000 from a guy or from a group of friends. It takes place annually, and somehow 5,000 people are visiting this festival. It's founded by friends in the need of a festival in this area 20 years ago, and it's managed still by friends, and that means it's a non-profit organization, which is somehow really nice in this, especially today in this area of festival organizations nowadays. And their target group is some between 18 and 28. I have to say that the target group is getting older because all the people who visited the days before are still visiting this festival because it's so familiar. Yeah, the key point of this festival is that they want to promote the festival every year, for sure, with a unique theme. So every year they create a unique theme, a topic, and this is the foundation for the communication to the outside to promote the festival. In this example, you see 18 forever, 18 für immer, from the year 2017. Yeah, so any problems? I mean, these are normal facts, and let's go. I just want to show you some pictures. So you see, they are friends. They build everything from their own. They try to make until they can reach it to make everything from their own, and they build everything. They build street signs on the festival platform, and they build a little shop for the guests, and they build flags, and all the signs are made in DIY style, and they build also all these wagons for the backstage area for the artists. So everything is somehow made by their own with little small and nice creative ideas. There's a look in the night. Yeah. And they have also a train which takes all the guests to the next lake to have a nice swim, because the area is really nature surrounded with many lakes to discover. So again, are there any problems? For us as designer, there were problems because you say, okay, it's nice to hear, but who are you exactly? Yeah, we have a target group between 18 and 28, the classical indie target group. They have fun, they relax, they are somehow lovely, there are lovely places. There's me. having fun. And but who are you really? So we need something to handle with, to create something with you together, because like we had before, make whatever you want doesn't work. So based on this question, who are you, we created, together with the board of the organization, we created this mission statement to have a kind of direction, where is the journey going to, because every year we have to create a unique theme for this. So basically it's a German festival, and everything we created it in German, and I just translated it. I hope you understand it in English. So the mission statement is: in front of an idyllic natural landscape, we would like to explore the levels of modern pop culture in the interaction of enjoyment and serenity. We would like to make new discoveries and keep the tried and tested high. We want a festival as a place for collective recreation, unobtrusive and open, lively and loving, familiar and friendly. So everything is really somehow small and little and not so bright, open, and not too much coolness, more like a friendship relation. So, and this is the mission statement, and our values somehow were familiar, lovely, collaborative. Nature loving was always a big topic, and vivid, fresh, warm, undemonstrative, I'm not sure if it's the right word in English, and open. So this page helped us since the beginning to create any stuff of it, because we always could relay on these topics, on these values, to say what do we want to make for them, what do we want to create. We could create something cool, but is it suitable for them? And then you have always a paper where you can look at it and say, no, it's not suitable because it doesn't match their over values. So, and based on this paper, we were able to create at least 6 themes in the last 6 years. Then the first topic was von Freunden für Freunde, like from friends to for friends. Then jedem Ort sein Wesen, every place its creature, because we have many sides of Bühnen, floors, and every floor had its own creature. We had then the next topic was camp timeout. We went to create something like a camp area. Then Festefeiern wirkt Wunder, celebrating party does wonders. I'm not sure if it works in English. And Fahrt ins Grüne, drive into the countryside. And the last was where we worked together was 18 for Hour, because it was the 18th anniversary of the festival. So I hope you already see that these topics are already somehow touching these values that we see here in the backside. It's obviously that not every value touches every topic, but at least some values has to be inside this topic. Yeah, and now I would like just to show you what we have created on these topics, and there's coming this topic of storytelling, because now we have an idea, and an idea it's also only working if you have a story behind that. And why it saves your lives is that if you have a story, you always can rely on this, because working on a topic took us somehow 6 months to 8 months, working every time on this topic, and we had to create always any type of difference of output, website, flyer, poster, social media, and so on. And we could always rely on the topic von Freunden für Freunde and on the story behind of that. And yeah, I hope I can you get it if you see how we get to the point. So it starts always like with brainstorming and making notes. What is this festival for us? And this part of work. We did it together. We did it in two, Dennis and me. And we collected characteristics and values, and you already see some here. We just already had our topic, but in the beginning we were not aware about this. We just were working on that, and then we suddenly stopped and started to make sketches. How do we want to look like this festival? How does it look like? And again, here also in the way you create visuals, you can go into direction. Should it look like perfectly technically, or should it look like more DIY? And there are so many possibilities. And what we wanted to have is like a look like DIY, that people are just doing it for their own and just make stuff without being so super perfect, because it's a little festival, and we want to have this approach of we are friends, we are sitting together, we create ideas and show it to the public. So in this case, we also decided to handwrite everything, every band and the festival name. And in the end, we just came up with the idea to make illustrations, somehow digital, somehow analog, print it out, cut it out, glue it on paper, scan it again, and color it digitally. So it's a big mixture of everything, but somehow we wanted to keep this spirit of DIY. And in the end, this is some font. We came up with this, and we show it to the people and say, yeah, it looks cool, but then we talk about and say, where's the freshness, where's the warm feeling? And then you just have to go and to rely again to the values and work on that. And this is the solution about that. We just color it up, the elements, to make it more warm and more fresh and more vivid. And these are examples of the posters for the festival, and we have written all this by hand with a big marker and flyers. So, and like every festival, you need some website, you need tickets, you need this wristband, a vinyl. And then you need also some merch, like little bags or t-shirts. And what we really loved is that when you visit the festival, you suddenly see people that they just took the visual style and made their own t-shirts. And suddenly we saw this girl running through a festival, and we realized that, hey, cool, she just took our graphics and made a t-shirt for herself. And this is the point where you see, okay, nice, this is how communication should work, that people get engaged and just make their own stuff with it.
And then call the lawyers.
Yeah, it's fun. We went to her and said, hey, cool, you made a t-shirt by her. Oh, am I allowed to do this or not? He said, no, it's super cool, it's fun, yeah, okay. So this is a really nice experience to make on the festival side, when you see that people are just engaged and make their own stuff. And this was also a task for us, that the organization told us, please create ideas where people get engaged into the festival and not just being guests. So we had also a booth where we had stencil, and they could just take their own t-shirt and spray their own stuff. And then here's some intern which really hated us, because every festival has a festival guide, a little booklet with all the information for the festival. And the topic was from France to France. And what did we do in our use? We just collected stickers on a sticker album and just tried to exchange, stickers. So we created stickers, many stickers, and every guest on the entry got a little booklet with a bunch of stickers. but not all the stickers are matching into the booklet they have. So they were forced to exchange the stickers with other guests.
The Panini style.
Yeah, the Panini style, perfectly, yeah. And people love it. I mean, they were on the festival and they were reading and like, hey, have you this sticker? No, I have this, I have 2 of them. Okay, let's change. Yeah, it looks like this.
So the intern needs to put together the bunch of stickers?
Yeah, they always had a bunch of 10 stickers and like, yeah. Yeah, it was looking like this. You had the normal information area, and then always on some certain pages you could just stick on the sticker on the page, and the sticker was only suiting on this page. It was part of a bigger illustration. Yeah, that's it. This was 2012, and after this we were saying, okay, cool, it was really fun, but what are we doing right now? I mean, after 1 year, what kind of ideas we can create? And this is again important to have good values and a mission statement, because you can always go back and say, okay, what is our playground where we can play with that? We came to the idea, jedem Ort sein Wesen, every place its own creature. Again, sitting here and talking and thinking, what can we do? Making sketches. And here again you see where you feel sometimes trapped, and you start again with making somehow the same style. You know, you again start to cut and to glue and to scan and make sketches and trying to ask, are we going the right way, and trying to figure out how can we visualize this topic. Every creature, every place its own creature. We wanted to make some masks, and we also wanted to create our own typography, our own font for the festival. So the first year we just made this handwritten style, and it was so much work, it was crazy. So we decided to create our own font for the festival. And also in this context we wanted to not show this perfectly matching font, again showing this DIY style font. So we made this, and we made some designs, and finally we got to this style of visual, and we created creatures for its own place. So this is one floor, Tanzkete, then the roadie, it was for the pre-festival, for the road trip. Then the Birkenheinrich was the creature for the little small floor, and so on. And based on these stories, we could create like a fairy about these creatures, and the people from the copyright team, they could create texts about this topic, you know, about creatures on the floors and how they live together. Yeah, so like it looks like on the festival side. And it was also somehow important that the people from the team of the festival are able to work with this as individual. We could not always be involved in every little thing that has to be done. So they just had to take elements of the design and just make their own stuff. So this, for example, they just took our file and just made it for themselves. And now I look on to the booklet that again looks somehow different compared to the one the year before. And a guy who does graffiti just took this topic and made his own stuff. So it was really open. It was not like we are the designers and everything has to go through our hands. No, we just made a basic design, a basic visual language, and everyone was open to make their own stuff. Also here we had a booth where people just could cut off their own masks. And 2014 was the third year. It was again like, okay, what the hell are we doing now this year? And on much more difficulty bring us to the visual style. The topic was like somehow easy to find, like camp outside. Okay, we want to have something like camping and Pathfinder. Pathfinder? No. Scout. Yeah, Scout context. This kind of universe. We wanted to create this kind of Scout universe. But how can we achieve this visually? And we started again, and we argued a lot. How can it look like? You see, like how much differences can look like as the same topic. You have one idea, but it could look like this or look like this. And in the end, it looks like this. So we created this universe of camp breakout or scout universe. We created our own flag for this camp. This is the flag for the camp outside. And we made flyers. And we wanted to have this camp outside like a universe, like a place where you could just drop off all the normal day life, and it should be your own little bubble for this 3 days. And we had this little scout was appearing on the media.
Was that a globe in the top right corner? The black and white
Well,
the symbol?
This is the logo of the festival. So we were not allowed to touch this from the beginning. It's like you see here the bottle, a milk bottle, inverted, and you see the Zitzen of a cow, because Immergut, the name Immergut is a name of a brand of a milk. It's a milk brand, a cacao brand, Immergut. And the guy who has founded this festival, Immergut, thought it's a really smart idea to call this festival Immergut, because Immergut milk, cacao, was in Neustrelitz, the place where the festival takes place. And he said, okay, when I name this festival like this, maybe I can get good sponsoring. But they were not interested, so. But he just kept on. Yeah, the vinyl. And here, for example, so we tried always to create some special ideas for the booklet that made some interactive parts for the people, and we created patches. And in the booklet, you had several tasks to solve in the booklet. And if you solve all these tasks, you can go to the booth on the festival side and you can get all these patches. So Umweltpionier is like if you collect all your trash you have collected during the festival, and you go back in the end of the festival, you give your trash back, you get a patch. If you visit the evening before the festival starts, there's on the theater of the city, there's also a place, an evening with Immergut. If you visit this place in the evening, you get also this patch. If you are the last person on the dance floor in the morning, you get a patch. You can get the Party Pionier. And Meister Pionier, if you get all the four, you get the Meister Pionier. And then we also created in this booklet a how to survive a camp, how to survive a festival. And we get some advice. For example, how to save your camera. You just like to use preservatives. Condoms, yeah. Or how you can preserve, or how you can avoid some little flies on your meal. And the people had somehow fun. They just tried to build this on the festival side. Or how you can do your own coffee if you don't have filters. Yeah. So, and also this, we did not do this. And we did not told them, hey, make a big sign made of wood. They just had this big, they had the concept, and based on the concept, they just were able to work on their own to create stuff like this. Yeah. So 2015, it was a year when I did it somehow alone, or together with Marco, but alone as a designer. Yeah, celebrating parties creates wonders. Again, also here creating a story, which is the foundation for the design. And here the topic was like creating a world like a bit of fairy tales where things happen that you can't imagine before. And in the beginning, I started to make heads that out of the head plants are growing off, and this plant is a Neustrelitzia. This is called the same name like Neustrelitz, and this is the flower of the city. But somehow it was a bit weird that something is coming out of an ear, for example. I like this, but it didn't work. So, and finally, this came up with a little pair, a girl and a guy, which has super long legs and just enjoy the time. Like, and this was visually I wanted to create like a more fairy universe. The booklet. Merch. Poster. And here are buttons, little story about that. We were asked to create one button 1 or 2 years before, and we said buttons for, the people are on the festival site and go and grab some drinks, beer, water, whatever, and they have to pay a fund, deposit for €1, and they get the chip. Instead of getting this chip, they get a button, you know? And the idea was that maybe if they like the button so much, they just give us the euro, you know? And we said, okay, why not creating many buttons? Because if you have one button, it's like, I won't take another button because it's always the same button. So we created, since 2013, always 6 or 7, 8 different buttons, so that the people are more willing to say, come on, €1, I just take this button, it's really nice. And I get again there getting a beer, and I see, oh, another button, cool, I like this button too. And you know, and this, for this reason, we had suddenly so much money, you know, because the people liked the buttons and started to collect the buttons. And it increased every year because we were also using the old buttons of the year before, you know, and the people suddenly were saying, oh, this is from the year 2015, in 2016, in 2014. So, and this is a nice proof to show how design can also improve directly the increase of making an economic plus. In 2016, Fahrt ins Grüne, so this was a topic, okay, we want to make something with nature. So like a drive site into the nature. And this is the year where Brian Storm come to us as a team member, and he is a really dedicated illustrator, like you will see right now. And we want to show somehow the weirdness of nature and festival culture. Also here we work again on the font and make the font family bigger. Yeah, and like you see, every year the design is completely different, but it touches always the values and the mission statement of the festival. And this is a really nice thing to show how open and how creative you can get, even if you have one mission statement and one bunch of values. A venue. And we had a comic this time in the booklet. And again, just people made their own stuff, like you see here on this. And the last year we worked together was 2017, and with the anniversary 18, so we just said, let's take this topic of getting adult, because in Europe with 18 you are an adult, you are treated like an adult legally. And we said, okay, but being 18 is a really nice time, because on the one side you are still youth, on the other side you are treated like an adult, and you can do so many more things. You know, you can drive your own car and make so many stuff. So we said, okay, 18 forever, and we tried visually to keep this spirit alive. So we had to make again some research. And in the beginning we said 18 being adult, no thank you, but it was like sounding a bit, too negative, And after many discussions we decided to say 18 forever. And these are the results of that. And here we try to combine illustration with photography and combine it to a collage. Yeah. That's it.
Cool.
But what about saving your life?
Oh, the stories saved my life because, like I said, we always, if you start the new topic, and if I imagine we would not have any story about that, we just would have an idea like von Freunde für Freunde or Camp Auszeit. If you only have this idea, it's still too open, It's still, you don't know what can I do right now. I mean, Camp Auszeit can be everything, or the topic Feste feiern wirkt Wunder. It's more dramatic for me because it was like, okay, what's the topic now? I mean, Feste feiern wirkt Wunder. It could be everything, and then we write a story. Is this little there's a guy called, I can't remember the name, there's a girl called la la la, and they met on the festival and they fall in love. It's like we have written the story once in the beginning and left it, and then you work, you create stuff, and there are some times where you just feel stuck and you don't know how can you go another step forward and what else can you create, and then you can always relate to the story and check, does it suits to the story, does it suits to the values. Mm-hmm. And this pattern is, you can put it on every project you have. It always gives you it's a foundation. It gives you And this is the reason, because it saved my life, because otherwise you go crazy, and you going crazy because you don't know, you don't have a clue what to do next, because you feel stuck. But having a story always gives you some little snippets, and you read the story the first time and you understand it in one way, and the next time you're reading it, because you already are working on this topic, you read the story and you get completely different ideas, because you're already in this topic and you are wide open, you are open to more ideas, because it's still working in your head. And this is the reason, because it saves your life.
And how much you were influenced, or how much do you scan other festivals? Is it a topic to find something, to find a scheme that is completely different from everything that exists, or is it more?
We did it in the first time, 2012, so a long time ago. We scanned all other festivals, because we did it for the first time, creating stuff for a festival, me and Dennis. But then we stopped, because it's obviously that back in the days there were not so many festivals working with a topic. Nowadays it's somehow nearly usual that festivals are working with a topic, so in such a big way. Every festival has a design language for sure, but not in such big cosmos that even the topic is going into the festival on the festival side. So this was already unique, and based on this, we did not have to make research always for other festivals.
And counted in time, how much effort is this? Does it take this design team a whole year to create the stuff and to finalize all the things? And when the festival happened, then it immediately starts with the new idea for the next year?
No, we always started to brainstorming, and we as a design team in September. We started to think about for the next year on May, because on May the festival starts. September. Then officially the official start with the team members of the organization was always somehow in October. And the first output of communication was in December. So before December, between October and December, we had to create the topic, the story, and the visual language somehow. But normally the visual language evolved until the end, because we were not able to work 8 hours a day on this topic, because we did it as a side project, everyone.
And a special question, with this festival guide, there was always a unique form you did, or the first year all that handmade stuff. And wasn't there ever a problem with one of the bands because they wanted their own logo brand to be presented?
Never. I was really surprised about that, even with the photos. In the first year we were really paying attention to the photos, but after a couple of years I just took the photos and cut them off, and and no one has complained about that.
Which was your favorite festival theme?
I really loved the first one, but because it's also emotional, it's really strong because it was the first year. And I really like the camp topic, and the last one too.
And how much people work in this organization?
Okay, so we are over 60.
Wow.
But it's it's like a big flow, you know. The core team are 7. So there is a management board. There are 5 or 6. Then there is 1 guy and 2 people in the office. And there is a booking team. And these people are somehow working a whole year. And the rest of and we as a design team. And the rest of the organization is focused on working on the festival side 10 days before and 10 days after, because they have to build everything. So many people just take their vacation of work just to build up the festival. They take 10 days of vacation and go there and build all the site, the festival site. And after the festival, they take again vacation to clean everything.
Wow.
So it's really a big effort on them, yeah.
And you said you create different drafts, and then how did you decide for one draft finally? Is it the management board who decides, or is it a collaborative?
It's more collaborative. So we, as a design team, we did a lot of stuff. Then we talked with Marco. Marco was the copywriter, and he was the bridge between us and the organization, because he's part of the organization and also part of the board. And he was, on one hand, also creative and get all into our ideas, but on the other hand, he would also the idea of a management board and had their vision. You know, he could always check, okay, it's okay. And after discussing with him, we went to them. We met together and presented mostly in abstract the stories. Most of the time there were 3 stories to tell and some mood boards. And based on the mood boards, we decided for one direction, and then we designed. Most of the time we already had one direction which we wanted to go, and most of the time it worked out, that the organization team loved the idea too, but sometimes not, and we had to get to the middle and find a solution. Yeah.
And why did you stop?
Why? I worked 6 years on that, and it's on a certain time it's time to go.
Now you're not 18 anymore.
I'm not 18 anymore now, but it took a lot of time. I mean, and we always worked on this in the evenings and in the weekends. And it's really hard, because on one side you want to give a really good, perfect output, but on the other side you need time for that. And you know, time is going by, work is going, it's increasing, and you have also some free time, family, and you have to stop on a certain time. And it's nice because also you want to give the opportunity to other people, you know, to work on that, because you learn so much on this topic. Even because it's a non-profit organization, you don't have so many big instances that you have to walk through. They asked us because we were designer, we were into the music, and they told us you can do whatever you want. You know? But we took us this freedom based on this foundation, and it's really a big effort for yourself as a designer to learn so much working on this topic.
Really cool. Yeah, great. Thank you very much for these insights.
Thank you.
Really interesting.